Hello my friends, story time with Mrs. Beth again. A special shout out to Stevie and Madeline and all my other friends who are listening. I have a chapter book today, 3 short stories about snowmen. It's called Stories of Snowmen. Let's read chapter 1. Stories of Snowmen. Chapter 1, Chilly and the Bonfire. Jack pulled back his bedroom curtains. A fresh blanket of snow covered the ground. Yippee! He was excited. Pulling on warm clothes, he ran out into the crunchy snow. I'm going to build the best snowman ever, Jack thought. First he made his body, then he rolled a snowball for the head, added 2 black pebbles for eyes, 4 more for a smiling mouth, stuck in a carrot for the nose, and finished off with a hat and scarf. Jack stood back to admire his new snowman. I'll call you Chilly, he said proudly. Jack heard banging from the field next door. Mr. Oates was putting up a sign. Grand Christmas Party, Oates Farm. Music, dancing, games, hot chocolate, toasted marshmallows, blazing bonfire. Buy your tickets at the farm shop. Jack licked his lips. He loved toasted marshmallows. Can I come to your party, please? He asked the farmer. Of course, Jack, replied Mr. Oates. I'll let you in for free if you help me build the bonfire. Jack climbed over the fence and picked up an armful of logs. In no time, he and Mr. Oates had built a huge bonfire. But the next morning, it vanished. New footprints led from Jack's house to where the bonfire had been. What have you done with my bonfire? Shouted Mr. Oates. It wasn't me, sniffed Jack. I don't like people playing tricks on me, said the farmer. You're banned from the party. You cannot come. Jack felt terrible. Mr. Oates built a new bonfire and stomped home. That night, Jack couldn't get to sleep. Who would steal a bonfire? He asked himself. Just then, he heard the clattering of wood outside. Jack raced out of the house. Jack couldn't believe his eyes. Chilly the snowman was taking down the bonfire. What's going on? Said Jack. Oh no, cried the snowman nervously. We're not supposed to let people see us move. You're alive, gasped Jack. Of course, said Chilly. All snowmen come alive at night. So you took the bonfire? Said Jack. Yes, said Chilly, looking ashamed. But why? Asked Jack. It was so close I would have melted, explained Chilly. I didn't want that to happen. You made me so well. Why don't you just run away? Asked Jack. Chilly shook his head. A snowman must return to where he was built, he said firmly. I didn't mean to get you into trouble, added Chilly sadly. Don't worry, said Jack. All we have to do is move the fire. Jack and his icy new friend carried the logs to the middle of the field. Well, that's a good idea. Move it away. The pair spent all night building the new bonfire. Chilly returned to his place just before Mr. Oats arrived. "I've built you an even better bonfire, Mr. Oats," said Jack. "To make up for the one you lost, I think it looks much better over here." Mr. Oats was so impressed, he let Jack go to the party. And only Jack noticed the snowman next door give him a grateful wink. Chapter 2. Snowy and Icy. The children of Frosty Town were hard at work. Tomorrow was judging day of the best snowman contest. Emma Humble was finishing her snowman Snowy. He had a battered felt hat, tiny stones for his eyes, tiny stones for his mouth too, and a moth-eaten woolly scarf, and a broken walking stick. But he was Emma's snowman. Daphne Dosh lived next door. She was so rich, she had her servants build her snowman, Icy. He had a shiny top hat, sparkling buttons for his mouth and eyes, and a silver-topped cane. Daphne peered over the fence at Emma. "Icy is twice as nice as your snowman," she boasted. "Well, at least I built Snowy myself," said Emma. "Ha!" scoffed Daphne. "We'll see who's best tomorrow." That night, the snowmen of Frosty Town came to life. Icy pointed at Snowy. "What a frightful sight!" he jeered. Snowy looked at his tattered clothes with his stony eyes. "You'll never win the contest," said Icy. "Maybe I can make myself look better," said Snowy. So he set off across the fields. Icy was certain he'd be the best snowman in town, but he decided to follow Snowy just to make sure. Snowy saw some sheep's wool caught on a wire fence. "I could use that to patch my scarf up," he thought. Icy crept up behind Snowy. "We'll see how your scarf looks after it's been tangled in that wire," he laughed to himself. Icy was about to push Snowy into the fence when he heard a loud "Baa! Baa!" A flock of sheep raced by and knocked Icy down. Snowy took the wool and entered the woods. "That twisty branch right there would make a great walking stick," he said. Icy climbed a tree behind Snowy. "I'll get you this time," he said. Icy's not being very nice. Icy began sawing through a heavy branch. "This will put a dent in Snowy's hat," he chuckled. But the silly snowman had cut through the branch that he was sitting on. Icy fell out of the tree and landed in a prickly holly bush. Snowy tucked his new stick under his arm and walked on through the woods. Snowy came to an icy pond. Lots of shiny round pebbles lay around the edge. "These will make great buttons," thought Snowy. Icy tiptoed up behind him. Icy went to push Snowy into the pond, but as he did so, Snowy bent over to pick up a handful of pebbles. Icy flew over Snowy, slid silently across the ice, and vanished into a patch of reeds. Snowy put on his new buttons, and he went back to Emma's house. Snowy admired his new stick and buttons, and his nice mended scarf. He didn't notice Icy going home much later, too. The sneaky snowman was a lumpy mess, and he was covered in leaves and reeds. The next day, the snowmen were judged. Icy came in last, and Snowy won first prize. Daphne was furious. Emma was thrilled, but she never found out how her snowman got his new outfit. Chapter 3. Freezy's New Buttons. Freezy gave a sad sigh. Every snowman in town had nice shiny pebble buttons except for him. Crispy had 3 big buttons, Sneezy had 4 little buttons, and Shiver had 8 of all different sizes and shapes. That afternoon, 2 men rushed along Freezy's street. "Where can we hide them, Stam?" panted one. "I've got an idea, Lenny," gasped the other. He pulled a little bag from his pocket. Stan took 3 shiny stones from the bag and stuck them in Freezy's chest. "Buttons!" laughed Lenny. "Let's get out of here," said Stan. The sneaky pair ran off as quickly as they had arrived. Freezy was dying to show off his new buttons, but he had to wait until nighttime. As soon as it got dark, Freezy visited his friends. "What do you think of my buttons?" he said with a grin. He was so excited. "Wow, they're so sparkly," gasped Crispy. "Better than pebbles," cried Sneezy. "Where did you get them?" asked Shiver. "Oh, they were a present," said Freezy proudly. His friends were so jealous their snow nearly turned green. Freezy strolled back home, and as he walked, a newspaper blew around his feet. The newspaper headline nearly melted him with shock. "Jewel thieves steal Digby diamonds." Freezy was wearing stolen jewels. "I better hand them to the police," he thought. At that moment, he heard a familiar voice behind him. "There he is, Lenny!" The 2 crooks raced up. Oh no! To the thieves' amazement, Freezy ran off in fright. "He's alive!" screamed Lenny. "After him!" yelled Stan. Freezy ran. The crooks chased Freezy up the hill. Freezy stopped to catch his breath. He was exhausted. "They're bound to catch me soon. Oh no," said Freezy. Then he had an idea. When the crooks caught up with Freezy, they found him sitting under a ledge. "He's taken the jewels off his chest. They're not there anymore," said Lenny. "Hand him over, snow features," barked Stan. "I'm sorry," said Freezy. "I can't hear you." "Where are the diamonds?" yelled Lenny. "Excuse me," said Freezy. Where are the what?" "Where are the jewels?" roared Stan. Speak up, said Freezy. "Where are the diamonds?" the crooks shouted really loud. The shouting made the snow on the hillside shake. With a huge swoosh, it thundered down. "Ah! Help!" Freezy took the diamonds from under his hat and stuck them in the snow. He pulled Stan's phone from his pocket and called the police. He told them where to find the crooks and the jewels. Then Freezy ran off so the police wouldn't see him. But perhaps they did. The next day, a policeman pinned a shiny gold medal to Freezy's scarf. That was even better than a button. What great adventures those snowmen had! Snowmen that come alive at night? Never heard of that, but it's always great to read adventure stories. Hope you have a great day. See you next time, my friends.